This podcast, bussin'.
Welcome to another episode of this.podcast, where we have dope people, dope conversations, and compelling stories. I'm your friendly host, Jay, joined by my brother and friends. We got Mike here.
You ready to boogie with that bear?
We got Co.
Man, what we talking about?
And we got Uncle Damo.
Hi, my name is Uncle Damo.
And today we got a special guest that decided to bless us with his presence. He's coming straight from the Rogue Invitational, CrossFit legend, fitness guru.
Oh my God.
Won the Titan Games.
Titan champ.
Yeah, second season. And this man knows everything about fitness. I want to welcome Matt Chan to the show. Welcome, brother. Thanks for coming by.
Yeah, I love the applause. Thank you so much, everybody.
Yeah. We got an audience out here.
Give golf class, man.
Yeah, this man
Full
deserves
range.
it. You know, we're going to get into that. Real quick, I want to plug this.podcast. You can find us on all streaming platforms, Apple, Spotify, Google Cast, SoundCloud, and viewership on YouTube at this.podcast, and IG on this.podcast, Twitter, thispod official, and what else am I missing? Linktree, this.podcast. So go out there, click subscribe, support, like, dislikes, give us some feedback, y'all. It doesn't matter. We'll take anything.
We get most of our love on IG though.
We do. We get a lot of
love on IG.
Man, do we?
That's got to be a full-time job, just maintaining all those different platforms.
You know what? Sometimes it's tough, Matt, but we got some software that we use that helps us
here we
out.
go,
So
the
it
software guys.
it syndicates to all those platforms for us. So we're good to go.
Yeah, so shout out to IG, man, for showing the love.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep it coming.
Link in bio.
Definitely. So, Matt, thanks for joining the show, man. You just came off of the Rogue Invitational for the CrossFit Legends. How did that weekend go, man?
Good. You know, it's every time I go back to kind of the CrossFit world, I do have mixed emotions. It was a strain. I mean, it was a great part of my life, but at the same time, there was some really negative parts of that. The whole, 10 years of doing that stuff, almost, I think 13 years.
Gotcha.
Competition really, it's got upsides, downsides. Working for CrossFit seminar staff, same thing, upsides, downsides. And going out there this weekend, I was confronted with a lot of the same faces and stuff like that. So
a lot of old friends that you ran into, relationships that you built while you've been in CrossFit.
Yep, absolutely. And then some people I don't talk to anymore.
The ops.
Yeah.
Ran into some ops out there.
The ops, those opponents out there.
Yep.
Opposition.
But all in all, though, it was great to see everybody, and like I wouldn't call that a competition for me. It was literally trying to survive.
Got it.
But it was a blast, and got to rub elbows with all the old friends that I haven't seen for a bit. So that's good.
And do you mind just a quick context? Can you tell people what that competition is?
Yeah,
and why it's important?
Yeah, sure. So, the Rogue Invitational is basically now one of a series of CrossFit competitions that qualifies people for the CrossFit Games. They've kind of gone away from that, and they're moving back to kind of a regional format qualifier for the CrossFit Games themselves. So now the Rogue Invitational is its own event, and they've actually put up enough money that it's equal to basically the prize purse for the CrossFit Games. So, what's cool about it is it's much more laid back. It doesn't have all the hype behind it that the CrossFit Games do yet, but it draws the best of the best CrossFit Games athletes.
Gotcha.
So you're seeing everybody from Tia Claire Toomey, and on the men's side, you've got Pat Vellner, just the biggest names in the sport right now.
Absolutely.
And then they've got this couple side events, I wouldn't even call the strongman part of it a side event. It's just another focus that Rogue has.
Yeah.
And everybody from time to time has probably seen strongman events on like CBS or ESPN or something like that. It's usually on like the
dump trucks and shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Throwing kegs over the
Yeah.
the wall and
So
shit like
that's
that.
exactly those same guys were there this weekend.
Okay.
Nice.
And they had a series of events that they did. And what's cool is, Rogue now manufactures strongman competition equipment. So anything you can dream up, they're coming up with and they're bringing it out there for these guys to showcase their talents.
Yeah.
And what's really cool about the strongman event at the Rogue Invitational in particular, I think it's got the highest prize purse for strongman events. So they put
Got
up, I
it.
think, $135,000 to the winner, and everybody else that even participated got cash. They got paid out. So
nice.
so they're supporting these athletes that normally, like, I don't want this to come across as derogatory, but they're almost a sideshow or like a little, I don't want to say freak show, but it's just like, it's something that a lot of people cannot participate in, so they're
Right.
not interested in.
Yeah.
Right.
But when it's on a platform like the Rogue Invitational,
With sponsors.
at one point I was logged into day 3 on YouTube, and there was 557,000 people watching the
That's
live
dope.
stream.
Nice.
That's just the
Nice.
live stream.
That's just the live stream. That's
And this
not
is
the people that were there.
worldwide, right?
And that's not replays. That's who's on that thing right now.
Yeah.
That is
That's a
awesome.
lot.
Yeah.
So these guys are getting a platform to participate in one of the biggest, strongman events that's put out there on the internet and in person that exists. And luckily, I was invited to participate in what really was the sideshow. It was the Legends event.
The Legends, right? More like the Masters. But
Yeah, it's like Masters.
y'all don't look like Masters, man. I mean,
No,
y'all can go
not
out
at
there
all.
and still be like top 20% in the world.
I don't know
what
about
I mean?
that, but it's cool because like what they're doing for us is they're giving us a place to go out and showcase, what older athletes have transitioned to, and what they can still do. So I haven't done competitive CrossFit for 6 years.
Right.
Firefighting's my sole focus.
Yep.
I do some, programming side work. I haven't done a muscle up since 2019 at the last Rogue Invitational.
Really?
Hey, man,
I haven't done a handstand push up in
Wait.
5 years.
Fuck
Wow.
muscle ups and fuck handstand push-ups.
Right, yes.
They're the worst thing ever.
Why do you say that?
Hey, do you remember when, I don't know if y'all remember that you were like, hey, Damien, this is when I was doing CrossFit. They were like, oh, can you do a handstand push-up? And I'm in my house against this big old wall trying to record it for them.
Like 300 at that time,
Yeah,
right?
no, I was like, like 315.
But you got upside down, man.
I did.
Yeah.
And I got down.
Yeah. So that speaks to CrossFit and the love for it, but we'll get into that. I want to talk about your relationship with Rogue specifically.
Yeah.
Because you are a CrossFit legend and a fitness guru. And so you've seen Rogue grow.
Yeah.
And you've been a part of that family, I feel like, since I've known about Rogue.
Yep.
You've been there.
Got his
And
own barbell.
got his own barbell. And so are you sponsored by Rogue, brand ambassador? Like, what is that exact relationship with Rogue?
So in 2011 or late 2010, they asked me to be on the Rogue team as a sponsored athlete. And back in the day, this is, 2 years into competing in CrossFit Games or after the third year, it was quite an honor to have anybody just say, we'd like to associate our brand name with you.
Right.
And that was pretty, I was like, yep, it doesn't matter if there's any money involved, any equipment involved, nothing. I'm in
there.
whatever that is.
Was that your first sponsorship?
Yep, it was.
Nice.
So Rogue at the time gave me $1,000 in equipment, a stipend to spend on equipment in their store.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
You can go
I was
anywhere
like,
outside
I was
of that.
cheering. I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God, Sheree, they just gave us $1,000 to spend on equipment. Can you fucking believe this shit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, now you look back at it and it's kind of like, wow, come a
No.
long way.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely, man.
Yeah, exactly.
But, at the time, putting on a Rogue shirt meant everything to me. It was not recognition, but it was, I sensed appreciation for the effort I was putting into the CrossFit community and CrossFit competition. And when Rogue approached me, that validated my efforts.
Got it.
Right.
And I've had a relationship with them since 2010 now, so 11 years. And
Nice.
I've done everything from compete for them, help them with product design, I like you said, I designed a barbell for them that was not intended to go that direction, but did.
Got it.
And they just liked the idea of me creating this bar so much that they wanted to sell it, and now it's one of their best selling bars. And luckily enough, I get a royalty for that, which
Absolutely.
It helps me out every
That
month.
was going to be my next question.
Yeah, it's not crazy. They give me
Right.
$7 a bar.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter, man.
Adds
Nope,
up.
it does.
They
It really
owed
does.
you. And plus, you got the iconic logo at Rogue. I think you got the best one of like the Shogun. Is that what it is? Like a
it
Shogun?
is. Yeah, samurai.
Yeah, which speaks to your Asian background, which is pretty badass, man. Like a lot of athletes, especially from the CrossFit world or just the fitness world in general, would like to walk in your shoes. The accomplishments that you've had and the things that you've done.
I'm blessed, honestly. Like I worked hard for everything I have. I'm not not going to shortchange myself. But
Yeah.
at the
And
you
same
shouldn't.
time, I was in the right place at the right time for a lot of this stuff to fall into place. I recognize that fully. Like I cannot, nor could I at my fittest compete with the athletes that are competing today. But that's a different time and a different place.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's how the sport grows, right? It's
Exactly.
like they look up to you, saw the things that you did, the legends, and then they're like,
They took it and built on it.
Oh.
absolutely. That's how it goes.
This man doesn't even own the gym anymore, and we get drop-ins to this day.
Yeah.
Where's Matt and Cherie?
Yeah.
No, definitely.
Where's Matt and Cherie?
At CrossFit Verve.
Right.
Absolutely.
At CrossFit Verve.
They are
Right.
the birth of that. So
Yeah.
I started with CrossFit Verve. I was like a second generation because it started in the park. And
Yeah, it
what
did.
park was that?
Oh man,
Was it in Lowhigh?
it was actually, Lowhigh. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how I found CrossFit Verve was unique because all I knew is I don't know how I came across CrossFit. It was a commercial with Ocho Cinco and the lady that was killing it at the time from Iceland.
Oh, Annie.
Yes,
Thor's
Annie
daughter.
Thor's daughter. So they had a commercial together, doing the movements, and it just it showed how badass she was, and Chad trying to keep up with her in fitness. So I was like, oh, that looks cool. And then it was the muscle up and snatch. I just love those movements. So I found a video of you training Knowshon Moreno at that time,
Yeah.
and I saw it.
Who was a Bronco?
Who was a Bronco, and I think it was his contract year, I want to say, or something like that. But he really wanted to get into shape.
They got locked out.
Is that what it
That
was?
was the year of the lockout.
Okay.
And he wanted to be in shape for the season, and they were going to have very limited time. And he was sponsored by Reebok, and I was as well. And Reebok was willing to connect us and, not going to lie, pay me to train him.
Got it.
I just went with that, and we had a pretty great relationship. No, it's okay. We had a pretty great relationship, as coach and athlete, and honestly, friends too. Like, we developed a nice relationship.
Nice.
And man, that dude was an athlete. Holy shit.
I bet.
Where's he at now?
Last time I saw him was in Miami. He got traded to Miami, and I believe he played another year and got injured, and then he went to, I believe, the University of Miami to finish his degree, because I think he left Georgia. Yeah, he left Georgia before his senior year. So I think he was going back to finish.
Got it.
And that's the last time I saw him was at Wadapalooza. He stopped by. He said hi. It was pretty cool.
Down in my-
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mike Brady. Yeah, the trainer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And you actually helped him get into the fire service, right?
Helped. I mean, he did it himself.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
just- you-
but
It's just like anything else. You just people need to be pointed in a direction, and then most people will take care of things themselves that are driven.
got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Well, since we're on the topic of CrossFit still, so when you were in your prime and you were killing it, backing up, you came to CrossFit what year?
So I started doing CrossFit in 2007 when I was in the fire service for when I just started as a professional firefighter, as kind of just a means to become a fitter firefighter, and signed up for the 2008 games, and that was really the start of my competition stuff.
Got it.
Yep.
So for you to get ready for that, because at that time CrossFit was just
Small time.
It was a blog on the
Yeah.
on the website,
Yep,
right?
yep.
Yeah. The games are on dirt roads and all
Yep.
that other stuff. Yeah.
It was literally sign up, pay $150 and go to the CrossFit Games.
Yeah.
No qualifiers, none of that.
No. You
So
got to
for
be
you
dumb
to-
enough to sign up.
But for you to train though, I imagine it might have been. It probably looked funny to other people while because were you working out in like global gyms to try to do these movements, or where were you performing in at? Was it mainly outside global gyms or wherever you could get a spot?
Yeah, no. I started in
You're gonna have to tie that tight.
I started in the 24-hour fitness on Colorado Boulevard in like the Virginia Village area.
Holy shit!
Down south, yep. 2007. And everything, from that point kind of just kept progressing, kept rolling through it, and ended up going to Front Range CrossFit for a number of years.
Got it.
Trained under Skip Miller, and he kind of showed me what I could do and how to do a lot of the movements. I'd never done a deadlift. I'd never done a back squat.
Got it.
Isn't that crazy?
That is.
So what did you do? Like prior to CrossFit, like what did your fitness life look like?
So I started getting into like weight training in college to get better. I played water polo and I swam growing up. So I was real
That doesn't
thin.
sound like a South Side of Chicago sport.
I believe it or not, swimming is not like it is. Swimming is not a big sport here in actually in most of the mountain states. It's not a big deal, but in the Midwest, swimming is like USS swimming is like an age group thing, and I grew up doing it. It's like
Wow.
It was the alternative to football or baseball. Basically, it was just the other seasons.
Got it.
Yep. So
Interesting.
I swam for my whole life, and when I started playing water polo in college, I decided to do some weight training, and that was kind of the beginning of that stuff. And I did exactly probably what you guys did: the back and bis, chest and tris, legs and shoulders, cardio afterwards, which was really just kind of like a slow jog on a treadmill, and then do abs until I couldn't sit up anymore.
That was the workout,
Right?
No, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Except I skipped leg day. I was just all bench press and curls. for
Yeah,
me.
well, I mean, it was all isolation stuff. So, like, when I did a back squat for the first time, it was pathetic. I think I maxed out at 225, which, I mean,
I don't
You're
know
right.
if that's pathetic.
That's pretty good, man.
That's
Yeah,
pretty
you
good.
know.
I felt
college.
pretty. I was
First time, that's
I was
pretty
pretty.
good.
I was pretty proud of myself at the time, and I was
Yeah.
Now, were you going to depth? Like, was this
probably not. I don't know.
because I never did until I got into CrossFit. I was
Yeah,
like, oh,
right.
this is squatting.
Right.
This is how it feels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So my butt just touched my heels.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so for like, what about like moving forward? 2007, I joined CrossFit.
Yep.
2012, 13.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit more commercialized.
Yeah, it was.
Talk to me about that transition. Did you like it? Did you hate it?
Well, so at that time, my wife and I were gym owners, and that's when these guys, I met these guys, and
Well, we kind of met you at the kind of like the
Tail
tail
end.
end of your
Yeah.
professional. Yeah. You
Yeah, but
gotta, you just can't gloss over that. You got to give us,
all right. So
give us a little more detail.
Yeah, talk how you got to like that point where you had your own gym and it was like
all right. Well,
worldwide renowned.
Yeah. Seminars, traveling the world, all that.
in 2007, I started training. Started doing CrossFit. I won't even say training. I started doing CrossFit exercises in a global gym. Decided that that was not going to work. I need to figure out how to do these movements. I need an actual coach,
Got it.
right? Because I'd never done a power clean, and I was trying to do what they were doing in the videos, and it just wasn't working for
Just
me.
not cutting out.
Yep. Went to a CrossFit gym, figured that stuff out. I ended up driving like 30 to 40 minutes per day to this CrossFit gym from where I live because there was only one in the city. And I was like, man, we got to figure this thing out. Let's just open a gym, or let's just affiliate our our garage. What do you say? And she's like, I mean, I guess we could figure that out.
Right.
And that's what we did. And we had probably like 6 to 8 people that would come for some personal training in our garage, which was basically a power rack with some bumper plates and all that stuff. And next thing I know, we've got 15 people who are paying us a monthly fee
Out of your garage.
out of our garage. And it's like, let's expand so that we don't have to teach these people one at a time. Let's bring them all together so we can just teach them in a group format. So we went to the park. The park is the one with the skate park just north of it, right?
Yep.
And man, people started showing up. like 15 people, 20 people, 25 people. Then the police started showing up.
Got it.
They're like,
you need a permit.
Yeah, you can't do this.
Got it.
No. These people got to go.
So
And
what, every day were you just like hauling equipment out there?
in the back of my truck.
Damn.
Do it all?
And we buy every time people would pay their monthly subscription, we buy a little more equipment, little more equipment. And sure as shit, like after 6 months of doing that and it started snowing, we were like, we can't do this anymore. There's too many people coming out here. And we're handing out gloves and hand warmers. I'm not kidding you. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh shit! Really?
Yep.
During the winter season, you're like making sure everybody's warm. Here you go.
Yep.
Damn.
Because and the funny part was
That's the
never,
grind.
you know, people just started hearing about CrossFit, so they'd call us up on, you know, on our cell phone and be like, hey, I see you guys have a CrossFit gym. Where do you guys? Where's the location? It's like, well, actually, we're just in a park.
Got it.
Come down, work out with us for a week, and then if you like it, you know, we can talk about prices. And it took, like I said, about 6 months, and we were like, we need to upgrade. We need to land somewhere here. So we rented a small space, 1,000 square feet, in kind of the Highlands area, and
That's all you needed.
that's all we needed for
Nice.
sure. And we had to limit our membership to 100 people
And raise the prices.
and raise the prices up, and we outgrew that in about 6 months. We had to rent a bigger spot, and that spot was right off of Park Ave and Larimer. It says, you guys know that building. It's still a gym, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Across the street from Snooze.
Yes.
Yeah.
Got it. So you were there before you went to 34th and
For
Larimer,
Yep,
or
for a short period of time.
33rd and Walnut
Yeah.
and Larimer.
Well, what ended up happening is we started kind of snagging some of their members, and they're like, we were just subleasing from them. It's a great space in there, by the way.
Yeah.
We started snagging some of their members, and they were like,
You gotta get
you
out.
got to go.
You got to get out.
You can't be having this.
You ain't got to go home.
But you got to
Yes,
get
yeah.
the hell out of here.
So
Can't
that-
slat. You
so-
can't snag the clientele, man. Come on. You know it doesn't work like that.
So we opened that spot up in Rhino, or 5 Points, and you know, 5 Points was kind of turning a page up there, and we just luckily enough snagged that place for like $5,000 a month, and it was 6,700 square feet, and we were able to
nice
open up
size.
the membership,
Nice gym.
and we grew that place up to, I think, almost 500. We were below 500, but almost 500 members at one point, and
Wow.
it was really satisfying to see that shit blow up, because we were pouring our heart and soul in it. We weren't taking any pay at all for 5 years. And
Wow.
yeah. And we, you know, at the time, you know, through all that period, we were also, like, I was trying to work at the fire station. I was trying to compete in the CrossFit Games. Not trying, I was.
Yeah.
was?
Yeah.
I was working for CrossFit seminar staff, and
You was doing a lot.
Yeah.
way too much.
You was doing
Yeah.
a lot.
You and your wife, sure.
We were both doing way too much.
You were traveling around the nation in a camper. Am I using that right?
2013, after
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
took second place in the CrossFit Games, we were literally, I look at Sheree, she looks at me, and I was like, hey, let's change. This is not working for me. We're doing way too much. She's like, what do you want to do? I was like, let's sell everything, get the fuck out of here.
Hell yeah.
I like how I just glossed over second place.
Yeah, man.
In 2000, like it was nothing.
Tell us about that, man.
Yeah,
'cause,
man. Because
I feel like you're a celebrity definitely in the CrossFit world. And if it wasn't for this guy, Rich Froning, you would have been number one. And I think, did he beat you in one event which gave him the hump over you?
No,
that year?
he beat me by 100 points. So I mean, it wasn't as close as
He was a beast, too.
he won
yeah.
he won
Rich
4 in a
Froning.
row, didn't he?
Yeah.
yeah.
If
I
it
mean-
wasn't for that guy, you would
Yeah.
have won that year.
yeah.
You know?
I honestly could say this with straight face. He's the GOAT for sure. You know, it's
Gotcha.
like, I mean,
Over Frazier?
only because of
Timing
timing
Yeah.
and what it meant to the CrossFit community
at
to
that
have
time.
a GOAT.
Yeah,
Got
yeah.
it. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
You know,
Absolutely.
not to mention the dude just looks like an action figure. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No, he does.
doesn't
He
hurt
does.
to.
No, absolutely. But given that,
Dude looks
that
like
he
He-Man, for God's sakes, with a beard.
He does.
Yeah.
He does, man. But
You guys
not
are
to
old enough to know who He-Man is. That's why we're all laughing.
Not to sell yourself short, though, man. You're built like a rock. You know what I mean? You're
Definitely
jacked
not
yourself.
The Rock, but
Let's talk about
Yeah.
him.
yeah.
We're not
Yeah.
there yet.
We're not. Oh,
We're not
okay.
there yet.
Not
We're
yet.
gonna get there.
We're gonna get to the rock.
Yeah,
but
we're getting there.
Well-
since we're on CrossFit, though, you've grown with it. You've seen
Ups
its
and
ups and downs, right?
Yep.
And here recently, a lot of people don't know. I'll say a lot of people outside the CrossFit community, but definitely inside the CrossFit community during the pandemic, there was a little bit of a divide, and it was tumultuous, right?
Oh, yeah.
Due to the asinine comments that Greg Glassman made, who was the CEO that at that time, about what happened with George Floyd. You know, about how he's I don't know word for word, but he was just saying that, you know,
I do know almost word for word. So let me say it.
Yeah.
The thing that I got very upset about, that I think, so I hadn't worked for, I was still employed as a contractor by CrossFit HQ seminar staff. I had worked that year, I don't know, 4 or 5 seminars. So I was only doing it when it was convenient.
Got it.
I was only accepting seminars when it was convenient. And the reason I went, and I'm back at the fire department at this point.
Gotcha.
I was doing that full time, but I still wanted to keep my skills honed in the CrossFit world, giving seminars, talking to people, be a part of the community.
Right.
Because it is even now a big part of my life.
It is.
And it's like family. You know, you don't, even though you may not get along with your mom and dad all the time, you still got to stay close to them.
Got
you know
it.
what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They could say some stuff that bugs the fucking shit out of you, but at the same time, you still hug them and kiss them, you know, every time you see them.
Absolutely. Yep.
Well, that changed when Greg made his comments, which started with, I believe, an affiliate meeting that was done over Skype or Zoom, that basically was the audio was released or it leaked somewhere, and the media got their hands on it. And he said some very, very insensitive things about, he said specifically that he or his staff will not be mourning the death of George Floyd.
Right.
And right then and there is like, nope, I don't want nothing to do with this fucking company anymore.
Got it.
I am that staff. I'm that staff that he's speaking for. And right then and there, it's just, you need to draw a line in the sand, and you can't cross that line. And he's speaking for me. Crossed. Done. We're done. He then followed that up with a tweet that said Floyd 19. That's literally all it said. Basically saying that racism is the next global pandemic.
Right.
That was what I interpreted that as.
No, absolutely.
And, you know, I'm not going to lie. At the time, for a number of years, I had overlooked comments by coworkers, by friends in college that, you know, were hateful words. And I had overlooked them. I'd let them slide under the radar, you know, brushed them under a rug, whatever you want to say. And, you know, it was one thing when people were saying those words, I can just turn a deaf ear to those people. But to have somebody basically take your livelihood, take your mouth and speak for you, I knew that was it for me and CrossFit Incorporated.
Got it.
That seems like it was a pretty hard moment for you.
It was, because I personally identified so much with CrossFit.
Yeah.
And,
Right.
and unfortunately, got too close with that stuff.
Yeah, like you said, like you were working on the weekends.
It was my identity.
Yeah, yeah, and like even so, your wife is pretty much known for her contributions to the seminars on the weekends.
She's
as well.
a flow master.
Yeah.
Yeah, we both traveled all around the world.
Yeah.
Talking about CrossFit to other people and singing its praises.
Yeah.
And to have something like that happen really sucked. I grew up on South Side Chicago. You know,
Right.
so I mean,
So very diverse.
very diverse.
Yeah.
And moving to Colorado was a bit of a shock. And just the lack of diversity. And I wouldn't say there's like any sort of intolerance that I've experienced here. But why would I experience that intolerance? But what I will say is I've had a few moments growing up that really shaped my perception on racism, bigotry, stuff like that, that I feel like is somewhat unique, and I can see from a better view than maybe most white people can. My dad's brother, my Uncle Mike, was married to a black lady named Annie. So she's my aunt, but they had separated and divorced eventually, but they had children together. So obviously mixed race family, and the experiences I had with my cousin Mikey were formative for me. My cousin Michael was my best friend growing up. He was as close as a brother.
Got it.
His dad wasn't there all the time. He was an alcoholic. His mom wasn't there all the time. She worked a lot, and frankly, I don't know what the other time that she wasn't there, what she was doing. It wasn't my business. I was a kid, a little kid.
Yeah.
Sure.
But Mikey spent a lot of time with my family at my house, and his brother Damien spent a lot of time with my Uncle Bob and his house.
Got it.
And it's just the way that we grew up, and it was great. I loved every second of it. But when I would see the interactions with my school friends and my cousin Mikey, it was different.
Yeah.
I was friends with them. I was friends with him. And then when those worlds met,
It was like tension there, or
no, there was racism.
Got it.
And it's just because my cousin Michael was not obviously best friends with all my best friends.
got it.
Those were two different worlds. So when I brought my cousin best friend to hang out with my other friends, there was definitely, like you said, tension, and there was not overt racism, but there was
Like microaggressions.
microaggressions, and the way that I saw them treat my cousin wasn't how they had treated anybody else I know.
So when does a microaggression become an aggression?
You tell me.
No, I'm saying that's what I'm hearing from you.
Yeah.
It's like, they would treat him some sort of way, but then when you see it and it's overt, it's real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this was just a sense. This was not overt, like you said. There was no overt racism happening where it was hurtful words, targeting my cousin's race.
Did you feel like you had to choose sides in that moment?
I did choose sides, and when the guys that I went to school with decided to treat my cousin differently, I told them to get the fuck out of here. We're either taking this game elsewhere, or you're getting out of our driveway, because it's over.
Let's clap for that.
Yeah,
And-
absolutely.
And
man.
but here's the thing about that. Somewhere along the line, I let that tolerance fade away a little bit.
Got it.
So people saying things, hurtful things in my presence, I remember being in college and fighting those words when they were used, and guys that I was living with in college using those words without anybody there or targeting, but just saying them. And it was just like, shut the fuck up. Don't use those fucking words in front of me. Plain and simple. Just stop.
Yeah.
And they pushed my buttons by using them more. And these are my friends.
Damn.
So it tore me up inside, and I've decided I wasn't going to give them the satisfaction of pushing my buttons, and instead I was just going to remain silent.
Silence
Got
is
it.
violence.
And
Silence is violence. And that's how I maintained. I'm a practitioner of stoicism, and stoicism is it's okay to not have an opinion.
Right.
Silence, you can just hold your opinion in,
You can.
and that's going to be that.
It's a form of like enablement, right? Like if
is.
you don't stand up against that, then people are going to continue to do it. So
And I think what I saw happen in CrossFit was,
Your wake up call.
oh man, was it ever? And I
Yeah.
decided that no one's going to ever speak for me. No, I'm not going to allow that that hate speech, or even if it wasn't overtly hateful, again, the implication was there, and yeah, no, you're not using my mouth as your fucking microphone.
No, that's awesome, Chan. That takes a lot of courage to do. You know what I mean? To step out and do those things.
Man, I'll tell you what though, I received a fucking shit ton of hate for that.
I bet.
You think?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet.
I mean, people saying that, you know, I was using that as a means of propping myself up or creating a social media attention grab for myself.
Right.
When in reality, what I was trying to do is just say, you know what, I'm not okay with this man, again, using my mouth as a microphone for what he's saying. In fact, I'm going to make a stand against this, and I'm going to make a stand from now on, instead of being stoic, instead of just holding my opinion to myself. Fuck that.
Round of applause, man.
Yeah.
And the other part of that, it wasn't a social media grab because they didn't know about Mikey.
No.
They didn't know about the early upbringing.
Right.
So, like,
Good
that's
point,
the
Damo.
thread for you, that you went through this whole transformation early on. Then there was a gap, and then there was like a wake-up call, slap, wake the fuck up, dude.
Yep.
And that's what you did.
Exactly.
No,
You
absolutely.
said, I
man.
got to go back to my childhood, my roots, and this is where I am now.
And choose a side for my cousin. I chose a side because I chose a side. I'm choosing a side now because I chose a side for my cousin when it was bigotry and racism going on.
Now that's great. And you know what? I want to say, because I lived through that, and to your point, Mike and I have talked about this, because frankly, that was the breaking point for CrossFit. You know, I feel like before that,
For us,
there was those microaggressions that kind of weren't addressed and kind of swept under the rug. But that's how I felt about Verve. So for me, fitness, like, I love the movements that we do in CrossFit, and CrossFit definitely brought me into that arena of like taking health serious and fitness serious. But what Verve created was bigger than CrossFit for me. So it was like the things that you did for the community that you've just cultured, the people there are great. And I never felt CrossFit. So I never felt that those microaggressions or those little subtle things where you would kind of question CrossFit, like,
like
I don't
Verve,
know
like,
about that.
So Verve is pretty much different than the stuff you would see on main site. You know, because, like, you know, pretty much back in the day, you know, it was some military gun-toting, you know, some gun-toting dude on the main site. Versus when we went into CrossFit Verve, pretty much the total opposite of that.
Complete opposite.
Yeah,
very,
absolutely.
very much the total opposite of that. Like, you know, felt welcome, didn't matter what you were doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, a huge population of the how do you say, LGBTQ
Yeah.
community.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Huge population.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put this out there. First of all, when I owned when we owned the gym, that was not the case. It was starting to become more diverse, which was great. I mean, it was like, thank God.
But even then, when you in your early days, did you have that kind of same crowd as what I just described for main site?
No. Oh,
Okay,
no.
exactly,
No.
yeah.
No.
You know what's crazy? I had no idea about this. The CrossFit gym that I went to was black owned.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Really?
awesome.
What was the name of your gym again?
CrossFit Crush.
Crush.
It was in Southeast Aurora, Quincy, and Tower.
Gotcha.
And
Wow, I didn't know
Anthony Smith and his wife, they sold it because they moved. But, like, I guess I was just shielded from all this. I had no idea about any of this you are talking about.
Right.
So to fast forward a little bit, so now after that, new ownership, they're trying new things, I would say.
Yep.
How do you feel about, I think it's Eric Rosa?
Rosa, yep.
Yeah. So the direction they're going in now, how do you feel?
Hey, what do I know? Honestly,
Got it.
I just to be 100% honest, like, I'm an outsider at this point. So
Got it.
I would say that I have met Eric Rosa on a couple of occasions just because he owns
Sanitas.
CrossFit Sanitas, which is a terrific gym in Boulder.
Yep.
And it's a beautiful gym, and I've met him through that and seminars as well. But the last time I saw him, believe it or not, was I was in a backcountry hut, one of the 10th Mountain Division huts.
Got it.
And it's 10 miles in the backcountry, Vail backcountry. And this dude skis up and he's like, "Hey, Matt Chan." It's like, "I am Matt Chan."
How did he know
Nice
from
to
that
meet you.
far away? Like,
The hair. Matt's hair hasn't moved in like 10, 13
got
it.
years.
his hair doesn't move during CrossFit workouts.
Not at all.
No,
Not at all.
No, not at
Not at
all.
all.
But he introduced himself, Eric Rosa, owner of CrossFit Sanitas, and that was before he owned now owns, as part of, I think, an investment group,
Yeah.
CrossFit Incorporated. I know nothing about it, but what I do know is he is a super fan. I would love to say that things are going to change rapidly in the future.
Okay.
And I hope it does, because I will say this, like, having been a part of the seminar staff from 2008, late 2008 until 2020, right?
Yep.
So 12 years, the content of the courses changed very little. And I think it does need to change. And it's so tied to Greg Glassman and the theory that Greg put together. Come on. It's time to move on. They still reference Greg regularly in the level 1.
Got it.
Which,
Got it.
don't get me wrong, the dude is the one that came up with the methodology. It would almost be impossible to talk about this course without mentioning his name. So I guess the idea is credit where credit's due, but
It's time to move on.
it really is, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, and there's elements of the level 1 that I absolutely think are essential to understanding CrossFit and the CrossFit methodology for application purposes for your own fitness. And then there are other parts that are in there because of legacy reasons that, hey, if I had anything to do with it, that shit would have been scrapped fucking 10 years ago.
Got it.
The GHD lecture, for example.
Nobody.
Who the fuck cares?
Nobody.
I understand
Nobody.
what the implications of understanding your
Yeah.
midline is,
Yeah.
and how that can help develop that. But in reality, let's teach people how to coach instead of teaching them about the GHD.
I'm with
Right.
you.
A lot of people walk out of the level 1, they're like, "Yeah, okay, so I learned how to do these movements, but I have no idea how to coach these movements."
Right.
And see, and that's another thing that sets Verve apart from pretty much like coaching in any other gym, is that you guys are pretty much like when we had Clancy on, it was like, "Hey, I'm a regional hopeful, blah blah blah." Like Clancy would be like, "Hey, we're not the gym for you.
Yeah.
We're not the gym for you."
Yep.
But if you want to be able to pick a piece of paper off the floor when you're 60, 70 years old, come to our class.
Yep.
Come to
Yeah.
our gym. Join our gym. So that's pretty much your
We took-
what's the word I'm looking for? Your teaching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We took coaching very seriously, and we wanted people's experience to be the best quality experience that we could possibly offer, which obviously evolved over time. It just got
Yeah.
better and better.
Well, we could talk about CrossFit all day because us three are a bunch of nerds when it comes to that.
Yeah.
But
Well, I have a story for you guys that you might not know. I think you
what's
do
that?
know.
What's that?
I protected our gym at one time. So I mentioned the idea of like fostering diversity.
Yeah.
Growing up on the South Side and all that stuff, that was a big part of my life. And when I moved to Colorado, there's a huge lack of diversity, right?
Right.
We had a coach that caused some problems for us in particular,
Yeah.
and I had to fire that guy.
I
Yeah.
remember that. I do. I do.
Going back to what he said about, he was in the not in the locker room, in his college dorm, people using words. Yeah.
No tolerance.
That happened.
No
That happened at our
tolerance.
gym.
That did.
That
Absolutely.
happened at our
Absolutely.
gym.
And it was in the most innocent way possible from an individual that was just socially very awkward and did not understand
The ramifications.
the ramifications
Yes.
of using words even though he's just singing a song.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
it was more important to me to make sure that we had a safe place.
Absolutely.
At Verve.
Absolutely.
I remember that, Chan.
Oh, yeah.
No, absolutely.
Damn, I forgot. I damn near forgot all
damn
about
it.
that. It's been so long.
Well,
Practice
that was 8
what you
years ago.
preach.
Pretty much.
He
Yeah.
practices what he preach. No, absolutely.
but even aside from that, it was just that's how important like diversity in Verve was to me. Was like I can always find another coach. This guy is a nice guy. I know he means well, and he just is not socially as cognizant as he should be about
Right.
things.
He's not self-aware.
He's just
Yeah,
not
yeah.
self-aware. He's just not a.
But there's a lesson in that, right?
Yeah.
Because I'll let you speak for him, because you knew him better than I did. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Like the no tolerance, and then you learn from those mistakes. You know, if it was true to your heart, then you know what not to do next time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and we've all had that slap across the face at some point in some respect in our life, right? Where it's just like, it's just like, fuck, that is me. I gotta own that. I
No.
fucked that up.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Yep. Several of them.
All right, so
Yeah.
let's get into. That was great, man. Thanks
Can
for
I
sharing that.
can I get into a story
Wait.
for Matt real quick? Because I was thinking about this as we were prepping.
Yeah.
Matt is the first person I ever did a partner workout with,
Is that right?
What?
and I got fucking destroyed.
Floored.
I'll never. Thanksgiving. It was what was the workout? It was I can't remember the hero's name, but it was push-ups. It was deadlifts, push-ups, and then box jumps. It was deadlifts at like 275. I want to say McGee, but
Okay.
I don't think I'm right. It's like 30 minutes. I go, you go. And this was like the first time, like
I remember this. This is the older gym.
Yeah.
Yep.
And this is like the first time like I got exposed to like somebody of his quality. I was like, holy shit.
So Matt's doing it in like a minute.
Right. Like
You're taking like 2 minutes.
It's worse for me.
Making sure that he has no rest whatsoever.
Right, exactly. Like I'm over here huffing and puffing. He's just sitting on the box, just chilling, just pretty much biding time for till he goes and does the whole shit in like 30 seconds, and it takes me like 90 seconds to do it. But that was my first partner workout.
Right on.
Yeah, and that's also, I think that's not the first time we met, but I was like new to the gym,
Yeah.
and your wife Cherie was like, "Do you have a partner for this workout?" I was like, "No," and she literally shoved me right over to you.
Let's do this.
Shout out
She
to
was
Cherie,
like, yeah.
bless her heart, because
Yeah.
she has to put up with this maniac when it comes to working out.
Man,
Because
yeah.
Matt's the kind of guy, like, he'll meet you for the first time, and if
Hey, you
you
wanna
come
do a
to Verve, like, hey, you want to work out?
Let's do a workout.
Yeah, and you're just like,
Jay's always like,
nah,
what
what you
you
doing?
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean? 'Cause
Every
I need
it's
to
no.
know.
Every time I'm like, are you in or are you out?
No, I'll catch up later.
Yep.
Unless there's rowing and wall balls, I'll
Yeah,
jam
I'm
with
in.
you.
yeah.
So let's talk about winning the Titan Games and that experience, because The Rock is the producer of that show.
Mhm.
And you know what's funny? So The Rock, at one point, I follow him on Instagram, and he was like giving shit to CrossFit. You know what I mean? Like, and he was just poking fun a little bit. He wasn't really going in, but it was like he was doing pull-ups, and he was like, "Oh, I don't kip," and you know, all these kind
yeah,
of
of
things.
course.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
what was funny is that you ended up winning
But here's the thing, no.
the Titan Games, and you're a CrossFit athlete.
So I watched it. I only watched his episodes, obviously.
Right.
They never brought up his whole CrossFit background, which I thought was weird as shit.
And turned out smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And what was funny is I assume as you were shooting, you couldn't tell anybody about
Oh my God.
going out there. So you were like,
So
you
what
were
was
telling
like
people you were going to LA. That's where it was shot. Was it in LA?
No, Atlanta.
It was in Atlanta?
Yeah.
So you were saying you were traveling somewhere, and you were like, yeah, I'm going to try out for this, blah, blah, blah. It's some kind of cover story. And it felt like he was just, you know,
Blowing smoke.
yeah, he was just like boiling inside because he wanted to tell people what he was doing. But he was going down there to win
Yeah.
the Titan Games,
So
man.
from the time the taping to the time it won, what was the duration?
So the last day of the taping was like the first week of March, and then I think they aired it in the first or second week of August.
Oh,
Damn.
So you had to be quiet for
Long
6
ass
months.
time.
That's a long ass
Yeah.
time.
Long ass time.
they were like, so about that trip to Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My mom was the worst though. My mom was, man, oh Jesus Christ. Every damn day she'd be like, so can I share this on Facebook yet? It's like, Jesus. She's the only person that knew other than Sheree and I.
Got it.
Only person.
Gotcha.
Like,
she
no,
was ready
Mom,
to brag.
just turn off the damn internet for the next 6 months, okay?
Please.
That's tough.
I don't want to get sued.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then, so how was that experience meeting The Rock? Like, how big is The Rock, man? Really? Like, how big is that dude?
Well, he's as big as he looks in all the photos and videos. He's that big. Like
Is he?
the man literally has muscles on the back of his head.
Like Moana?
Yes, yes. He literally is. He's a cartoon, as it turns out. But yeah, no, literally, he's gigantic, and I mean that in like more ways than one. He's like got a gigantic personality. He has a gigantic love for whatever it is that he's doing at that moment, and you
Got
feel
it.
like you're a part of it.
Like, he's all in.
He just
He's
has
all in.
it.
Yeah.
He really does, and I'll tell you what, this shit looks exhausting. Thank God I don't have it, because that shit looks exhausting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because he's like, he's here, he's there, he's
He
there,
was
he's here.
filming a movie while he was recording the Titan Games. He's literally running
Was
back
he?
and forth.
Wow.
Damn.
Yep.
Was he at least recording in Atlanta at that time?
Yep.
Or
Same
yeah,
same
yeah.
studios.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We're
Was
same
it
studios.
Tyler Perry Studios or no?
It might have been. I don't
It's
know.
like a big compound.
Yeah, it was a big compound.
Yeah.
Yeah. It might have
What's
been.
that?
He was doing Fast and the Furious then.
Probably.
Probably.
No, this one was. I know the name of it. Red
Red
Alert?
Notice.
Red Notice. That's
just
it.
It's coming out like today or on Netflix or in theaters.
Oh, it
something
is?
Like, well,
Yeah,
yeah.
Oh,
I think
wow.
it's him and Gal Gadot and
Yeah.
Ryan
Oh,
Reynolds.
so this
Yep,
was
there you go.
recently.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
This was within the
Yeah.
last year.
2020.
Yeah, he
Oh,
did it
okay.
last
Yeah,
summer.
yeah.
Yeah, he last summer.
Hey, that boy was out
summer.
there doing COVID movies.
Yep. Literally.
COVID Titan game.
Oh,
When
no.
I got-
He's Hollywood.
When we
man.
got
he's
back,
definitely Hollywood.
When we got back, that was it. I mean, no travel. I remember watching the news while we were there that they were talking about this China virus, and it's like, oh my,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
come
yeah.
on,
Yeah.
don't blame my people, please.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that
And
was
then after that, it was like, shut down.
shut down.
And that's whenever
I even got COVID in June, which was like one of the early. I felt like I was like pretty early on.
Yeah.
Did you get super sick?
I did, yeah. I felt like the flu, like bad flu.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah. I remember that because they was working out at the gym.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. You did. You had to sit out for a little bit.
Yep.
Damn. So you've been on a few shows. You were on, what was it? The Biggest Loser?
Oh, you remember that?
You were on The Biggest Loser?
I was,
man.
yeah.
Like,
As
he's been on a
guest-
few shows.
A guest trader with
Got it.
Bob
Okay.
Harper.
Got it.
How's that guy?
Oh, he seemed awesome. You know,
Yeah.
he had a heart attack.
Yeah.
Yep.
I saw
did?
that.
So
It was
here's
a couple years ago.
Here's my
Oh,
beef.
wow.
We go back to the CrossFit thing for just one sec. So here's my beef. Like, again, like we talked about, like they don't change anything. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure they're going to, and we'll give them time, whatever.
Yep.
What's with people having heart attacks?
Diet.
Is it diet?
I'm
Is it,
just
or is
asking.
Is it potentially that your heart isn't meant for that much intensity all the time, and that high intensity hypertrophies
No,
the heart
I'm
muscle
with you. I'm
into
with
a
you.
very large muscle? Like I've had chest scans for work, and they're like, you got something wrong with your heart. It's gigantic. You got an enlarged
it.
heart. And
Wow.
you need to do this scan every single year with your annual physical. It's like, what the fuck is causing that?
Right.
Because of being in shape.
It's being in shape. It's doing too much high intensity. It's fucking, your heart pumping that hard,
like
that
big
often.
muscle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just building up.
It's just getting bigger.
Heart just swole.
So,
Heart
Swole
swole.
heart.
Swole heart.
so I don't know the science behind this stuff, but I know
Better
that
than a
like
baby heart.
that amount of acidity due to high intensity exercise, anaerobic exercise, cannot possibly be good for your body for that long. It's not a lifetime program. As you see,
Right.
like people as they grow through the CrossFit process, what do? They reduce intensity probably 5 out of the 7 days a week that they train.
Amen
No,
to that.
1,000%, man. Yeah.
You
my,
feel better?
Oh yeah, 'cause
Joints feel
yeah,
better?
Yeah, 'cause
my intensity
yeah.
is way down. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so talk about that. Like when you were competing, like the amount of hours of like you working out, what did that look like throughout the day?
At the very most, I ended up like maybe like 4 hours max working out per day. And that working out would look anything from like, on the 3-minute back squats and Olympic lifts.
Right.
And then later a session that would be just conditioning. And then maybe later than that even, I would go back to the boulder track and run, intervals, and then spend the rest of the day like trying to make my body feel okay again so I could do the same thing the next day. So
Wow.
I felt like a professional athlete for the last few years of doing CrossFit.
And you maintain that for like 5 years straight?
That in volume and intensity, probably only about 3 years. And
Okay.
it all added up and I started having lots of injuries.
Yeah.
Got it.
That's what happened to me. I broke my foot.
Yep.
It's that intensity, right?
Yeah, man. And it might not look like it, but I used to get after it.
You did.
I was
You
like
did.
the big dude in the
Absolutely.
gym. They're like, where in the did he come from?
I was impressed.
And we got to, I mean, that's my argument is that, like, yes, intensity garners results. Don't get me wrong. We've all experienced that, right?
Right.
We know that it gets conditioning. We know that it, if you do, let's just say you're doing like, 3 rounds of 15 reps of 2 or 3 different exercises. Of course, that's going to put muscle mass on your body. Anytime you introduce a lot of lactic acid into your body, you secrete growth hormone.
Right.
Right. And you reduce oxygen, you increase acidity, you've got growth hormones. So yeah, we're going to be putting on body mass and people fucking like to look like He-Man.
So just real quick, so with that being said, what's the ideal amount of days an average person
In my
should work
opinion,
out?
this is my opinion just from years of doing this stuff and at my age. So some of these kids that are like 22 years old doing CrossFit, they could do high intensity every single day of the week and have no consequences to that. None. And shit, if I was 22 again, I'd probably do the exact same thing. Now that I'm 40, almost 44, I think that the maximum number of high intensity days that I can do every week is 2. And everything else is moderate to low intensity.
That sounds about right. No, seriously.
I can look forward to 2, like, bleed from the lungs, sweat from the eyeballs sort of workouts. But the rest of those, they need to be tame and they need to be controlled and they need I need to look at the weights with a pretty close eye and think to myself, is this going to make me feel fucked up for the rest of the week?
Or hurt yourself.
Or hurt
Right.
myself? Am I going to have a knee problem after this? Am I going to have a back problem after this?
Yeah.
How's my body feeling today? It's tight from yesterday, so I'm going to play it cool here.
Right.
And I think the big part that the CrossFit thing has not adapted to is the benefit of low intensity aerobic exercise. If you can build up your slow twitch muscle fibers
I
to
agree.
support your high twitch, fast twitch muscle fibers, you are going to not only be stronger, but you're going to recover faster and you're going to be able to go at a low speed for longer durations of time.
What does that mean to the listeners?
That means
Like, walk us through that.
okay, so one way to look at this is just going on a long, slow, whatever. I'm not even gonna fucking put an exercise to it because long, slow, whatever. If
Row, jog.
that's jog,
bike.
put on a backpack and go for a walk on some hills.
I saw that on your Instagram.
I'm a huge proponent of rucking now. Like I always made fun of it. I thought it was stupid. How are you gonna get fitness from walking with a backpack on?
Right.
I'm not gonna lie. This summer I lost 20 pounds, and the only difference was I added in rucking twice a week.
Wow.
That's
Nice,
it.
man.
That's it. And I think that's something that
I need to ruck.
you could, and that's the cool thing about rucking, right? Is you all you need is a backpack and some sort of weight that you can put inside of it, and just march along in the hills. And guess what? Not only are you getting sunshine in your eyes and getting that dopamine from the sunshine in your eyes, you're improving your testosterone, you're improving your vitamin D intake.
Nice, man.
And trust me, the one thing that I've experienced from walking around in the sun with a backpack on is, goddamn, I feel good every day. My joints feel better.
That's what you said on your Instagram.
Yep.
It's true. I'm not lying. And I'm not
Absolutely.
trying to sell anything either.
No, I know. I don't
It's
think
it's just like, hey, if you're tired of CrossFit, don't stop doing CrossFit.
Right.
Just add in and let's say take a day or 2 out of the high intensity stuff and get your ass out into this beautiful world that we live into. Get some sunshine in your eyes and get fitness in a different way that's not so intimidating.
I wish I'd have known that.
Dude, you say that because it's funny you say that because as you're in CrossFit and then you get older and you got to tone it down just naturally because of father time. I'm in that bucket too.
Yep.
I feel better than I did a couple years ago when I was like going hard and trying to, get on that level. And then 2, I feel like I can hang, like if I were to compete against myself a couple years ago, but with this mindset, like I would beat that guy.
Yeah,
like 3 years ago. Like I would beat
totally
you
agree with that.
because I'd be well rested for the intensity and be ready to go mentally.
Yep.
Like I would work out so hard, open come, those first 2 workouts I would crush. I would get into the later weeks of the open,
You just wouldn't want to
and
do it anymore.
I'd be destroyed.
Yep.
Like mentally, I've already beat myself up, and I'm just like, why am I doing this shit? You know what I mean? The stress, all that stuff. So it's funny you say that, because I feel better now than I did 3 years ago when I was like,
What's the
jacked
goal?
and
That's
top.
my question. What's the
Exactly.
fucking goal?
Absolutely.
Are we trying to be sore all the time? I got a program for you if you want to be sore all the time.
No, absolutely.
You want to have trouble walking, getting
Shout
off
out
the
Train
shitter?
for the win.
And it's funny
Yeah.
because Sauce talked about that. He was like, hey, I know how to pace myself in my workouts. He's
Absolutely.
going for something. His goal is different than somebody else's. He's trying to get that range of motion, it sounds
I
like.
coach Courtney in some of these classes. He's coasting a little bit too
A little
much.
too much.
Just
We would
a
like
little-
him to
just
push
a
it.
little bit too much.
I have no issue getting a smiley face put on mine.
Yeah.
Because I just
right on
zone
the board.
out. Yeah, I just zone out, and I just want to get the workout.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not there to try to compete against James.
Right.
I'm just there to try to get better than I did the week before. You know what I mean? Now, if there's if there's stuff that I know I'm strong at, right? Because I'm pretty strong, right? Now, I may say, okay.
Yeah, you wanna push it on those things.
I need to push it a little more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But on those days where I know it takes that endurance, as long as I can get through the workout,
That's a
that's
start.
my goal.
No, absolutely. So that's great segue into the programs that you got going now, Chan. I want you to kind of plug Train for the Win. I've been on that program, and it's an awesome program. And you have a specific category, I would say, which is Thrive.
Yep.
Right? Talk a little bit about that.
Well, yeah. So, in my years of like writing workouts for the gym or for competitive athletes, I really wanted to have that outlet still. And in 2015, when I stopped competing, I decided to start writing a program, and we wrote a competitive program. And then I realized, you know what, this doesn't fulfill me. I don't really care about making super fit athletes fitter. It doesn't fulfill me.
Right.
What I want to see is the people that, have had these dreams and aspirations to go out and ski something cool, or go hunting, or ride a mountain bike, or fucking walk their dog and they're afraid to do that, whatever.
He's just listing all the activities he does in his free
He
time.
hunts?
Yeah, that's what I think of.
Yeah.
You gonna take me hunting?
Yeah, no,
I want to
yeah.
go hunting, so I guess I got to learn
We
the
got next
bow
week.
this year.
Yeah, I
got
gotta learn
next
the
week.
bow. I want to go too.
Well, can I go? Because evidently I can't
Next
shoot
week
a
is
bow.
deer season.
Yeah.
It's right out. I got a tag for in Boulder. You are invited. We can go. I will make sure that we connect and we go for
I
at
know
least
you and
a day.
Zink go.
So what would I
before.
learn on this trip? Because I can't shoot a bow. So would I learn
That's all right.
how
It's a
to
rifle. It's a rifle. So
Oh, you got a rifle.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
It's a rifle
You,
tag.
you would learn how
okay,
to clean
cool.
a deer.
You're gonna learn how to clean a deer. You're gonna learn how to carry
Put
a
it
deer
on your
because you're
back.
gonna help me.
Yeah.
But you
absolutely.
have gone bow hunting with
Yeah.
for deer. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Deer, elk.
Yeah.
But so that's my point though, is like
Yeah.
what's the goal? So like that's how we came up with the idea of Thrive. It's like my idea is the goal is to thrive.
Got it.
The goal is to be the best you can be. And I know that sounds cheesy and everybody fucking says that shit. But I'm not kidding. Like I want to write a program that people can complete on a daily basis without getting raked over the coals mentally about it. Hey, yesterday was hard. I know Matt's going to program something today that's not going to be as brutal.
Got it.
It's going to be mellow. Might just be some weightlifting. I'm up for some weightlifting today. Tomorrow might be just a little bit of rowing, and it's not even high intensity rowing. It's low intensity rowing. And then we're going to do some bodybuilding hypertrophy work afterwards, which just simply means just make your muscles bigger, right?
Right.
Because what I've learned from programming for people is that, yes, they love variety. Yes, they love high intensity. They love walking away from a workout where they feel like they've been bleeding from the eyes and nose for the last 20 minutes and they get that satisfaction, but then they don't want to do it again for days. I want people to look at my program and say, shit, that one looks fucking hard, but this one today looks pretty easy. I'm going to start with this one and hopefully I'll get to that next one.
Got it.
I'm going to get there.
That's fair.
Nice,
Yeah.
man.
And yeah, it's called Train for the Win, Thrive. And, we've got a really cool community that I'm able to answer them, watch videos to give people some coaching tips. I don't do any handstand push-ups, muscle-ups, or stuff like that. I don't do squat cleans, squat snatches. I keep it simple for the movements that have the best bang for the buck, that put muscle mass on your body, that chew up calories every day, that make you feel really fucking good at the end of your workout, like you really accomplished something.
So Chin,
Nice.
I'm sure nutrition is a part of your program too.
It's not, that's it's hard to do. It's hard to do to tell somebody what to eat.
Sure.
So yeah, because you and I have had this discussion, and I've talked to Damo about this. Just diets in general. Like it feels like, I don't want to call it a fad, but it might just be the expectations when you do a diet is like something.
It's gonna end.
Yes,
Mhm.
I do it.
Yeah.
Once I'm done with the 30 days, then I'm back to normal.
And that can be an approach. That can be an approach, because you know what? You can establish habits in those time frames when you're on a diet, which is just a pattern of eating, that you can establish really good habits that you can carry with you. And then you can also establish an awareness of things that you're like, well, I'm never fucking doing that again. Okay. Like I know for myself, I like weighing and measuring my food.
That's what he turned me onto that. That's what I still do to this day.
Everybody else, it
Count
annoys
your
the fuck out
macros.
of them. Yep. But here's the cool part. If I count my macros throughout the day, I know that like if I grab something like, we just went through Halloween, right? So
Right.
if I grab a fun size Snickers, it ain't the end of the world because everything else was on point the rest of the day. I'm not going to beat myself up about it. Who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
You know what? There's some cookies on the table. I'm going to have 2 of those cookies because you know what? That's everything else is on point. So I can take that. I can take the idea of weighing and measuring my food and I can bring it forward. Other people, they're like, no way. Shree hates it. Shree hates it because she's like, I can't make good meals because I can't make a recipe. Like picture a soup. How do you weigh and measure a soup?
No, absolutely.
It's really hard.
It is.
But so she gets upset because she's like, I can't eat, or make good food that's like a recipe,
It's hard to have fun.
and
with
it's hard to
food.
have fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then she'll also recognize that she'll be like, hey, I need to start weighing and measuring my food again because I've put on a little bit of weight, or I've put on a little bit of weight. And she'll be like, you need to start weighing and measuring your food again.
But you talk about that, like how your weight fluctuates.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And
Here's the thing that I recognize affects my weight more than anything: sleep.
really,
I just had my
man.
testosterone measured, and I'm at an all-time low as far as my testosterone goes. 329. I'm not embarrassed to say it. Okay, I think 230 is clinically low testosterone, and nothing else has changed. I work out the same. I still am doing the same hunting stuff right now. It's still hunt season.
sleep.
It's fucking sleep.
That's
it's the
interesting.
only thing that's reducing. And I'm carrying. Look at. I'm not gonna lie. At that Rogue Invitational, one workout I took off my shirt. Somebody sent me a photo, and it's just like, oh Christ. Hey there, Dad Bod.
Hey there, Bob.
You ain't got the turtle shell no more.
No, there ain't no turtle shell in that photo.
You got it.
That's
You got it.
interesting, man. I never thought like sleep isn't something that like resonated with me. It was more about like the other stuff, like getting up, working out.
Look at you want.
nutrition.
No,
You want
sleep's good. Sleep's
I
important,
sleep
man.
6 hours.
That's not enough.
No,
You need 8 minimum.
Eight, dog.
More sleep.
More
Yeah.
sleep.
So here's the thing that probably everybody right here does not do, and that's go to bed at 9 o'clock.
No,
No, I don't.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm 11.
I don't.
11 to 7.
I'm 11.
No, and I'm 11 to 5.
11 to 7.
Yeah. So I mean,
I'm like-
you guys want to see better results from your workout, whatever it is, or you want to feel more recovered, just increase your sleep by 2 hours a night.
How do you sleep more if you don't want to sleep?
Well, we do have this product that's widely available here in Colorado.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm a firefighter. I use THC products. We are allowed to use it. There is a threshold, and I can take a pee stick and pee on it, and as long as I'm below that 50 nanograms per deciliter, I'm good to go.
Shout out to the firefighter
Thank
department.
you. Thank you. Right?
Absolutely.
Like here's the thing. For my job, for what I do, sleep is an absolute premium. Because I am
Oh,
up
yeah.
all night.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I come home on my first day of 4-day, and I don't smoke. I use edibles, but I found a couple products that. Hey, maybe this will stir up a sponsorship.
Yeah. Go away, man.
Oh,
yeah. We
yeah.
need sponsorship.
My favorite one is Tasty Buds, and they make a THC, CBD, CBN product that's got a purple label. I don't know what it's called, but it's 10 milligrams of each of those. And bro, I take that thing an hour before bed, about 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock. Down and not up at all.
Really?
Nice.
I wake up at like, I get up at like 4:50 every morning to go to work.
Oh.
And dude, it feels like I've been holding my bladder for like 9 hours, but I never once wake up in the middle of the night to. It
That's
doesn't disturb me.
interesting. So I took an edible years ago, and
Could you go to sleep?
I was wide awake. I was at the movies. I got paranoid. My wife and I went to a Thai restaurant, and I thought the Thai dude was macking on my wife. And I was like, "Why you macking on my wife?"
So you got in the fight?
I got paranoid. I'm like,
got it.
"This Thai dude is about to snatch my wife up."
God, that's so funny.
You did a whole.
That's the benefit of taking it at night, though, is because like you don't get all the paranoia. You
Yeah,
just,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
literally
you
you
just go
just
to sleep.
slide into bed and just never get up.
Stuck.
He gonna eat half the cake.
Yeah. He took like 2 gummies. He was on cloud
Who
9.
did?
You did.
Yeah, you took too much.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Yes.
Because you were like,
Yeah.
I'm
It's just not my
300
thing,
plus.
though.
I need like 2 of them.
Yeah, it's not my
Yeah,
thing.
same here.
Yeah.
I'm a Wana Canna guy.
Yeah. I'm stuck in the
good.
basement.
Wanna?
Yeah,
I'm a
it's not my thing.
I'm a
I don't
wanna
do
guy.
it.
Dixies for me. Pause.
Got it.
Dixie.
He said,
So, pause.
Real quick, man.
And we'll let you close it out.
In
Yep.
terms of fitness, we talked to. I listened to another podcast, which is I Am Athlete, and you have Brandon Marshall and you have Chad Ochocinco always arguing about diet, right? And the way I hear it is, Chad's like, yo, a diet is all about society trying to sell you something, right? To get you saying that tying your diet correlates with dollars being made, right? And Chad Ochocinco saying, well, I eat McDonald's every day and I'm a beast. So like, how do you feel about it? Is it just some people are just predisposed?
he
to
calls
be
it
able to
Ocho
eat?
versus science.
Yeah, he calls it Ocho versus science. Some people just predisposed metabolically
So just
to be able to
genetics,
eat
right?
what they want to eat, and they literally can just
Fucking
get
A, man.
burnt up.
Yeah, without a doubt. Like, so we all have body types that lend very well to. One thing you could compare it to is like insulin sensitivity. So, insulin secreted by the pancreas in response to blood sugar, basically removes blood sugar from the bloodstream. It can store it or it can use it. Right, our brain burns blood sugar more than basically anything else throughout the day, except for exercise. Chad Ochocinco is obviously not only genetically gifted, you know, in respects to the body type that he has.
Yes.
Like he is a mesomorph.
Yeah.
He is probably very
low.
incredible insulin sensitivity. So in other words, his blood sugar is super stable. Doesn't matter what he does. His insulin is working overtime to make it perfect. And
3% body fat.
3% body fat. His activity level, though, is also something that supports his ability to burn calories. He's got lean body mass. He's got genetics. He's got high activity levels. To me, to say that for him to even speak without sitting still for, let's say, a year isn't fair.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna lie. If I sat still and did not move as much as I do with my job, with exercise, I would weigh 50 pounds more if I ate the same amount that I eat now.
Yeah.
Okay, so I do agree with him, though, when we start talking about supplements and all the hype that Instagram creates about certain apps or products, or there's definitely some selling going on there. There's marketing happening there. One of my favorite diets to follow is the RP diet. Is that what it's called?
I think it's RPE. Is that what you're saying?
RP. It's Renaissance periodization. RP. I think it's RP diet.
That's new to me. That's new to me.
It's fantastic.
Okay.
But here's the thing. Is it the app, or is it just that you commit to eating a more regular diet? Eating
100.
being
Yeah.
consistent.
Yep.
Is it that just following a consistent pattern of eating on a regular basis for an extended period of time gets you the
results.
the results that you're looking for, that you finally committed to, that just this fucking app is what convinced you to go that extra
there.
step.
Yeah. Right.
I think that's
In
it.
essence, it's
No,
you.
no,
It's
no,
not the
no.
app.
Hey,
It's funny.
Let's look at this. If we just take, if we all here in this room committed to not eating sugar and drinking alcohol, I guarantee all 5 of us would be down 20 pounds within 4 weeks. I guarantee it.
I'd probably be like 50. Hey, can we close it out one more thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
my
It's a
ideal way.
great conversation.
No, I just want to know about the mountain bike ride.
Oh yeah, we didn't get into that.
My injury.
Yeah.
That almost killed you.
Yep. So that was 2014, July 4th, 2014. Again, practicing what I preach. Get out there, do things out in the outdoors, and
Right.
I love mountain biking. I'm not an expert. I love skiing. I'm not an expert. I love hunting. I'm not an expert. In fact, most of the shit I do is probably pretty embarrassing.
Stop.
Including that day, just riding along on a simple little trail, going extremely slow because I was just waiting for Cherie to catch up on the 4th of July. I promised her I wouldn't get out of sight from her. I look back, she's nowhere behind me. So I kind of slowed down, popped over this log, and my chain rings as I popped over this log got caught on the log, and it stopped my forward momentum. And I was going over the handlebars. The handlebars turned, and I caught it right at the hip joint,
Oh,
and it crushed.
that's an artery.
I crushed my femoral artery, the right branch of my femoral artery. I
Wow.
did not open the skin, but right away, I knew something was wrong. Like it hurt like 10 out of 10 pain.
Sure.
Got it.
And I couldn't stand up. And as I'm laying there, I'm obviously like holding it like I'm in pain. And I just started to notice, I was like, oh shit, this is throbbing pretty bad. And pulled my shorts down, and it just started filling up with blood. My whole leg did, like down to my knee. Looked like there was an eggplant literally implanted in my inner leg. And when Cherie rolled
That could
up,
have been inspiring to some.
well, myself included.
Cherie was like, hey, you happy to see me, huh?
Where did you go?
Pulled my pants back up and had to take a picture. Just outlined it.
Yeah. My bad, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I mean, I was lucky. It didn't break the skin. It would have killed me for sure.
So had it broke the skin,
Without a doubt, I
Fatal.
would have bled out right there.
Wow.
Without a doubt. So we had to call 911. When Cherie rolled up, I just told her, I was like, very calmly, I was like, listen, I'm hurt. We need to call 911, but I think everything's going to be okay. We just need to get this thing started. She called 911. She had to ride her bike for like a half mile to get service to call 911. We couldn't call from where we were sitting. She comes running back. She's, obviously panicked, and I'm not wearing any shorts. I'm just fucking sitting in the middle of this trail with my bike shoes on and a shirt on.
And an eggplant.
And an eggplant.
In your natural state.
That's right.
natural state.
Yeah, and search and rescue came, got me. They brought me down on a I forget what the thing's called, but it's like a sked or something like that. They brought me down to an open area where they loaded me into an ambulance. The ambulance drove me to a field, and a helicopter landed.
came.
Yep,
Yeah.
a helicopter landed, and they snowed the hell out of me with fentanyl and then probably morphine. And next thing I remember is I was landing in St. Anthony Central, off of Indiana over there, or whatever it is. And they said, I remember rolling in, I'm holding my phone, telling my mom what's happening. And the doctor says, okay, so listen, this is very important. We're going to do everything we can to save your leg, but we're not promising anything. I was like, hold up, Mom, they said I might lose my leg. I got to go.
Damn.
And that was the last thing I remember. I woke up, and Cherie said that I just kept asking. I was like, the repetitive question thing that what people get when they have concussions.
Right.
She's like, you just would not shut up about your fucking whether the leg was there or not.
God, I bet.
So just curious, what was the time from when you got hurt to when you landed at the hospital?
So by the time I got into the helicopter, it was 45 minutes.
Got it.
Because they were concerned that I was going to lose my leg because I hadn't had blood flow to the
To
the lower limb.
extremities.
Yeah.
Got it.
So I totally know what you went through because I dislocated my knee. and there's also a major artery behind your knee.
Oh yeah.
And when I dislocated my knee, the fear was that I severed the artery. It was at risk to lose the bottom half of my leg.
Yep.
So what they immediately did is they went right there, and they immediately started to run dye to make sure that the circulation was
going down and back up.
It was going down and back up after they put my knee back in place.
Okay.
So I totally know the fear, but they don't really tell you until after the fact. They're like,
fuck it, man. Don't tell me. Just let me enjoy these drugs. Do what you gotta do.
So I totally understand, man. That fear of acid 100 times is my legs still there.
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
I was there.
The scariest part for me from that whole thing, it was painful. It was bad. I couldn't walk for 2 weeks. Not gonna lie, I was on so many fucking painkillers. I couldn't shit either.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, there's all that shit.
Percocets to stop you up, boy.
Oh, big time.
Opioids. Unfortunately, for the rest of the episode, we were having technical difficulties with our audio. Our memory card ran to capacity without me realizing it, but we still continued the conversation because it was going so well. First, I would like to give a round of applause for Matt Chan for stopping by on the show. Again, Matt Chan does a lot of great things, a lot of dope things. He's fitness guru, athlete, has a training program called Train for the Win. I recommend it. I used it in the past and have seen great gains from it. And he's a Titan Games champion. He's been on TV quite a few times, but just living a dope lifestyle. Go check out Matt Chan on IG at MattChan1. And I'll close it out with saying you never stumble upon the unexpected if you only stick to the familiar. So go out there and do some dope things, get your health right, because health is important in order to enjoy life.
This podcast, bussin'.